Greetings all, it's Chilmy from Team Nexience, and I've got here the two rostered Hearthstone players, so I've got Jay Spades and Ultima 21, so we're going to review the rest of the leaked cards from, I don't know, leaked for lack of a better word, from the Grand Tournament. We already reviewed the first 22 cards of the Hearthstone expansion in an earlier video, which you can find in the related YouTube links, so we've already explained the Inspire mechanic and whatnot in the last video, so we'll just fire away with the card reviews at probably a bit more of a rapid speed this time. So, how you doing, boys, first of all?
What's up? Good, bad.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, so we got Colosseum Manager. You can see the screen, right?
Yep.
Alright, cool. So, your thoughts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit of
Next
Gyarados.
Next card, please.
Well, what about the stats?
Fuck the stats.
It's pretty AIDS, I think. Sure.
Alright.
It could be like a 5/10 and it still be garbage.
Alright. Alright, Flame Juggler, 2 mana, 2/3, Battlecry, deal 1 damage to 1 random enemy.
Not good enough. If it was directed damage, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, if it was like Elven Archer kind of style, I think it'd be okay. But
It just
At least the
doesn't seem
stats are
good.
decent.
yeah, it's not bad stat-wise, right?
It's a decent arena card at least, so that's all.
Sure. It's good in Arena, so it's useless to us.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
That's
unfortunately.
Clockwork Knight. Battlecry, give a friendly mech +1/+1.
It's an awful.
It's okay, but
The stats
I
are
don't
really
think there's
good.
I don't think there's any good mech decks at the moment besides Mech Shaman. And Mech Shaman doesn't have space for this with its 5 and 6 drops being like what's it called? Fire Rally and like the 4 drop and like stuff like that.
So there are better cards to play for 5 mana. The stats are really good
yep.
though. It wouldn't surprise me if
Yep.
this came up in a tournament deck at some point.
Yep.
You know, yeah. Not too amazing.
Yeah, just average.
Yeah. It's alright. Savage Combatant. Inspire. Give your hero +2 attack this turn. The stats are decent.
I think this card
The
is
worst?
actually like really good. Because I like, if you think about it, like when you innovate out like Shredder, it's not that great sometimes, but because you usually follow up with like a hero power turn. Which if you innovate this out turn 2 and then a hero power turn 3, clear their Shredder, you're just so far ahead on tempo. And 5/4 is pretty huge.
So you
Like,
get a free Wrath the next turn if this sticks.
Yep,
In essence, that's really good.
I think that is too good too.
Actually, this card could be
It's definitely decent.
breaking, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Especially in Druid, obviously, but... Alright, so we can chalk that up as the actual, like, first good card we've seen today.
Yep.
Cool.
And it's nice to see good Druid cards in expansion for once.
I agree.
Yeah, this is actually a fantastic card. I think this is going to see a lot of play. I mean, it's hard to talk about its advanced applications, because its effect is, like, really straightforward, right? It's just...
But you also have to
powerful
see
and
what
visible.
type of meta it is, and if three damage is relevant in that meta. Because damage is so relevant in like the patron meta,
Yeah.
but like, who knows what the meta will be.
But look, I guess regardless of the meta shift, wild growth and innovate's always going to be a thing, at least for now.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
I think that's always going to have applications. But yeah, I guess it's early to tell. But that card's really solid.
Yep.
All right. Aegis Darkbane. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, deal 3 random damage to an enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the card's good, but like, I don't know, this whole, when you target this minion with a spell, it doesn't really take off in any class besides Priest.
Okay. Would you play this in Priest at this point?
Not this one. I don't think. Well, actually, there's another class I was talking to Donald about. I was like, a Paladin has a lot of self-targeting spells, and this card with Paladin, the other one especially, the Divine Shield one, could be really busted in Paladin.
Oh, okay. That 1 mana gives you some
Yep.
divine shield. I guess.
It has a lot of. You have a lot of boost cards in Paladin. You have the one that gives you 3 attack, Blessing of Might, Blessing of Kings. You got the draw card. You got the Divine Shield ones. There's a lot of cards.
So if this aggro Paladin deck's still a thing post expansion, this could be a fantastic card.
Yep.
Okay. So it's decent, but this one is entirely dependent on the rest of the expansion and how the meta plays out as to whether it's useless or fantastic.
Yep. At least it has good stats. 3/4, 3/3.
Yeah, it's definitely like
Solid.
fairly solid, especially in Priest. I think if you go like this powered shield, I think it's like pretty solid. Or like fucking
And
if
it
you point
knocks
out
out the
this or
minion.
then Velen's,
Yeah.
Chosen.
It,
It's like-
it seems pretty decent, right? Yeah, Valen's
Yep.
chosen. I didn't even think of that. Holy crap! So Priest just gets a little bit better as we go. Jola Lightbane. So same deal, same stats, but you get Divine Shield instead of doing 3 random damage. So
I think this is much better than Divine Shield, than the 3 damage
How
one.
so?
Because Divine Shield is so good, and this card in Paladin against like Warrior, and Warrior has such a tough time dealing with Divine Shields, and this is a recurring Divine Shield. It's like ridiculous.
okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say this is better than the other one too.
Do you think this will actually see play post expansion?
I think it should see play. I think it's good enough to be able to see play.
Do you really want to be playing these 1 mana target cards just so you can accommodate for the situational effects of these cards, though?
But like you can use those 1 mana cards on like other stuff too. Just like Blessing of Might is decent enough to play on its own.
Mm-hmm. I guess Blessing of Kings on this is retarded, for lack of a better
Yeah, it's
word.
really good.
Yeah,
It would be
it's,
really good.
very solid, actually.
Actually,
I didn't
yeah.
even think of that. I honestly did not think of that. Yeah, Paladin. I guess
Like,
like you
turn
can play,
3
like,
this,
those
turn
targeting
4
cards.
Blessing of Kings.
Yeah.
Yep.
The cards-
But yeah, I think the Divine Shield is just has more utility than the random 3 damage to a minion.
Yeah.
Because like
Yep.
Divine Shield's just such a good fucking, so good.
Like a good mechanic.
It's so good at trading.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Silence hurts obviously, but
So we
Yeah.
could see this boy,
Whatever.
bad boy played in Pally, and even Priest, obviously. I mean,
Yep.
Yvelon's chosen this and gets Divine Shield. Oh, yeah, GG. That's really scary, honestly. Priest was coin.
Yep.
Anyway.
yeah, it's pretty solid.
Alright, Silent Knight. It's a 2/2 Stealth Divine Shield. 3 mana. So it's a glorified healbot. No, healbot. The other one. The 2/2
Minibot.
Paladin. That's the one, yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I don't know about this Divine Shield and Stealth on the same minion is sort of redundant, so I don't think. Plus, 3 mana and 2 attack is really awful, because everything played at 3 mana now has over 2 health for sure.
It just seems a bit too weak for what you're paying, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it seems kind of average.
I guess that sums it up average. Argent Watchman can't attack. Inspire can attack as normal this turn. Now, what's impressive is that it's a 2-drop with 2/4 stats, and all you have to do to enable it is hero power. So, what do you think?
I think this card's garbage. Like, why is it have such low stats? Like, 2 mana, 2/3 is like standard. So for 1 extra health, you have a minion that can't attack unless you waste a turn hero powering. That's so awful.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. Like stats are a huge killer.
I guess it was
This is like a
one drop, it
4/5
would
like
be
Ancient Watcher, or like
Yep.
maybe that's too good. Maybe like a 4/3, 4/4.
Yeah, something
it'd
like
be
that.
I still
insane,
think for
but,
2
like-
cost that's too good. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But like, yeah, the fact that it's a 2/4 is just like so bad. Like, I'd rather just play fucking Swamp Crocodilisk or whatever that 2/3 beast is.
Exactly.
Because he's my
Like,
boy. Like, I'd rather play my boy than this guy.
at least make it like 3 attack or something. Like, what's the huge upside of this card that you have to have this huge drawback that it can't attack? There's no huge
Come
upside.
on, man. It's got huge defense. Hey.
Oh, okay. Far out.
Alright, the card's rubbish. I thought it was good when I just first read it, but obviously not.
Yeah, it's not great.
Your
unfortunately.
boy Spell Slinger, so give everyone a random spell. Give your opponent cards. What do you think? It's just a spider tank for mage.
This card isn't as awful as it seems, firstly, because in Tempo Mage, that spell is going to be much more useful for you than your opponent will, unless you get some completely garbage spell. But, like, I don't think you should rely on this heavy RNG in, like, a constructed deck anyway.
This could be the nuts in arena though.
Yes,
Very well be.
definitely.
But
It's also like a great RNG card.
if any of the audience hasn't figured out yet, we're obviously talking about the cards in the context of constructed play.
Yep.
Just a little
Mostly.
FYI, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, look, I don't appreciate giving my opponent free cards, and which is probably going to be a spell better than what I get. But yeah, yeah, it's completely RNG based. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess over a long amount of time that can't work out too well.
Kind of like
Yeah.
that new card, Lock and Load.
Yeah.
Well, I think this card's better than that card, but
Yeah,
kind of the same
definitely.
premise, right? Similar
The
premise.
stats are impressive, but not in a constructed context, I guess. But yeah. Demon Fuse, 2 mana Warlock card. Give a demon +3/+3, but give your opponent a mana crystal. So what do
Yeah.
you think?
Well, that's probably the worst card in the game.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. It's a bit harsh,
I
but
think
it's not good. We'll leave it at that. Like,
That's so awful.
Is it?
yeah,
That's
giving
like-
your opponent a mana crystal is so bad.
So this only works on. So this only works if you have a 2-drop, a 1-drop demon, and your opponent is going to be ramped up to 4 mana, so they can play like Shredder, which instantly cancels out your boost.
Yep.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah, and that's not even with the new powerful cards that are just ridiculous
Yeah.
for their cost.
This is-
So,
This is just such a terrible card.
all right, we'll move along. Argent Horse Rider, 3 cost, Divine Shield charge into 2/1.
Yeah, as we said before, 2 attack on a 3 mana creature is not enough. Like all these spider tanks running around now, you can't have 2 attack at turn 3.
I think it should
Even
Horse Ride
Divine-
itself back to where it came from. To be honest, I don't want this card in
Yeah.
my packs.
Yep, definitely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, look, there's not much
It's
to say
not
about
like
that.
it's not much.
Could
Right,
could
like-
the card have application in things like a Boladin or like even Rogue, like getting oil on that thing, or
Oh, look, a Boladin, yeah, for sure. I didn't think about that. That's definitely like something that can come up.
but even then it's 3 mana. How much you
Yeah,
can
that's
do in
true.
that deck for 3 mana?
Exactly, and like, how is this better than deckhand? If you're just putting it in, palette,
You're
aggressive
very
palette.
right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I'm
true,
trying.
true.
I'm trying to justify the card, but it's rubbish, right?
Yeah, it's rubbish.
Alright.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nay, nay.
disappointing.
Flamelands deal 8 damage to a minion, so you can rag hit it for half your mana.
Or you could just polymorph, which is silence, and like basically remove the minion.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's kind of like double flame cannon, but usually flame cannon's like enough to like.
The,
I mean,
but
I don't know.
the good thing about flame cannon is it's 2 mana, which can remove those early threats. But like this is 8 damage at 5. Like the 8 damage will survive with 5 mana, but like 5 mana is so huge.
mid game when this is taking out your entire turn, what's a fireball not going to kill for 6 damage, right? I mean,
Exactly.
this is-
Fireball ping is 6 mana.
It's like a
This is 5 mana.
very limited array of circumstances where this will be better than any of the existing cards, and it's not going to be enough to play the card over them.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, it's probably very true.
you know. Darn Arsus Aspirant. Battlecry, gain an empty mana crystal, and destroy one when you die. So you're essentially doing nothing for a 2/3. It's just a 2/3, basically, because it's going to die.
Oh no! But the thing is, like, it becomes sort of it sort of has like Thorison syndrome where they have to remove it immediately, or you've just got enough free wild growth.
Right.
So, like, because you play this turn to gain the crystal, and then next turn you play Shredder unless they kill it.
Mhm.
And if they're killing that, then it's relieving the pressure off your face, which is where all the aggressive decks are going to be going. So it's like it's sort of good because it has like pseudo taunt, like some cards do.
Yeah. If you coin that out and it sticks, so,
Yeah,
you know, you could play a Shade the next turn, or like,
exactly.
yeah, okay, maybe it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I think it's definitely in a reworked Druid deck. It can definitely do some damage.
Would you play this alongside Wild Growth as well? Like,
Yep.
would you not congesting your 2-drops slot?
Or maybe it can I don't think it can replace Wild Growth. Wild Growth is... But like, maybe some people have been dropping like 1 Wild Growth or something
Oh,
from their
you
deck.
think about it, right? You get this card out, it sticks
Mhm.
for 1 turn somehow, because, you know, they don't always have early game removal. Then you get that
Yep.
other card that we reviewed, the 4-drop, 5/4.
Exactly.
You just steamroll, the game's over.
Yeah,
Yeah, this game's. I mean, this card's like.
fairly
Interesting.
decent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Yep.
Yeah, it could be good, I guess.
Yep. And at worst, it's a 2 mana 2/3 that traded with something at least.
Yeah, and it's Druid. I guess Druid already has that Cub card that you can choose to make it a 2/3. But yeah, this has the chance of making your early game so much better. Albeit even if it's for 1 more turn. Like, I guess with Druid you'll find yourself in a lot of situations where you don't have that bridge between like a turn 2 and 4 play or turn 1
Yep.
to even 4 or something. So this could be perfect to fill the void.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, we'll move that along. That's a good card actually. Wrathguard. 2 mana, whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your hero. So I guess the most impressive thing about it is its stats, right?
Yes, this card I think is insane in Zoo. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna push Zoo up up a tier level
It's
almost.
a
because
4/3
it's,
for 2 mana.
it's ridiculously.
That is
That's
unfair.
ridiculously powerful because you go turn 1 Flame Imp, 3 damage. Turn 2 Wrathguard, and then next turn your opponent is taken 10 damage for that if they haven't removed both of those guys.
And it gives you all the more reason to play Void Caller and Demon based decks, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, this card's
And,
insane.
Like the only potential downside of this is like late game getting like overkilled really hard, and then your hero also takes that damage.
Getting shield slam for like 45 and just
Yeah.
killing
But the
yourself.
thing is, if you're playing Zoo, they're never gonna have that much
Yeah,
armor
exactly.
anyway.
That's it's just like this card's just like really.
This
solid.
card's actually, I think, broken.
Yeah, it could very well like make Zoo like a tier above all the other decks, and that would be scary because I hate Zoo.
And when are you ever taking more than 3 to 4 damage with removal anyway?
Exactly.
Early game.
They don't want to overkill it. You don't really want to like waste damage on a creature.
Well, I actually think this is bad for the game at this point.
Yeah, it's significant power creep of 2-drops.
Yeah, it's just yeah. And then what? You want to release the other 2 drops where they're like 2/1 stats with Divine Shield and stuff like that. They don't compete.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've taken 8 damage before you're like thinking of dealing with Wrathguard.
Exactly.
This card like kind of lets Handlock like compete early game, right? Like
You would
kind
play
of.
this in Handlock
I think so.
over Watcher.
I mean, Watch is not always good to just like flat drop turn 2.
That's true.
I
And
don't
even
know, like,
this taunted up isn't even that bad.
Yeah, it's just a solid card that
A lot of decks can play.
It's just
And maybe
way
like
too-
even Demon Lock could become like a full thing now. Like you just
Like an
drop
actual
all the
proper, a proper archetyped deck. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you drop the creepers, you drop all like the little things, and
You're
just
playing
go straight
Flamage, you're playing
demons.
Wrathguards, you're playing like Void Walkers and Callers, you're playing Bane of Doom. Yeah, you're playing
Yeah.
a demon deck.
Yeah, like full on demons.
You could almost play Sense Demons when your cards are this good for this cheap. Yeah,
Yeah.
it opens up a wide range
Possibly.
of possibilities.
Yeah.
I don't like what this card's going to do for the game, but anyway, we'll move it along.
That's
it's a really
true.
good card.
Yeah. Shadow Pan Cavalry, 5 mana rogue card, and combo gets +3 attack. Obviously, you can see the stats on the screen. So, what do you think of
I
this?
think I don't know what Blizzard has in store for Rogue, but they're really giving it a wrong array of cards. They keep giving Rogue like these mid-rangey, semi
high cost
decent
cards.
Yes, like and that Web Spinner Lord thing that's like 4 mana, 5/5, return a friendly minion. That was garbage. Then you have like, I think they got it in GVG. They got that 6/6 ogre thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
stealth.
They've
And
got-
like
they've
all
got-
these
yeah,
all these
exactly.
subpar mid-range minions that Rogue doesn't need.
Yeah, it's just not the way Rogue operates. But is that them
Exactly.
trying to change the mechanic of Rogue, or I mean? or
But
change
then they
the way it
give cards like Tinker's Oil in the same set that's like a pure combo card.
and it's too hard to ignore. I guess
Exactly.
Blizzard's thought about this in terms of, look, we've made it a fair cost. We'll make it a 6/7 so it floats under BGH and like really impossible to kill. But I guess Rogue, when does Rogue ever want to waste turn 5 playing a card like that instead of like as a Drake or something? I don't know.
It's Boulder Fist Ogre for 1 less mana.
Plus,
I don't
need,
think
and
that's
you need to
competitive.
combo it, so usually you're going to have to spend at least Boulder Fist mana.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's the sealer. That's what makes it bad.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we'll move that along. I don't think it's good. Master of Ceremonies, 3-drop. If you have a minion with spell damage, gain +2/+2. What do you think?
So this card is comparable to Volcanic Drake a lot because like both of them require setup and can be dropped on turn 4 to 3 for 6/4. And you have to look at how much Volcanic Drake is being played, which is like almost none. And this has an even harder summoning condition of like as a 6/4 with having spell damage because all the spell damage minions are like super weak. Like, you have Thalnos at 1 health, Cobalt Geomancer at 2 health. They're not going to live to see the next turn.
Yeah, terrible cards. The only thing I can think of that's remotely good is Valen's Chosen.
Yeah, Balance Chosen and like even late game you dropping this with an Azure Drake for 8 mana, but I don't think that's good enough either.
Yeah, this card's just like fairly average. They're not great at all.
It's not going to be good enough,
Yep.
right? Spell damage.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. You have to make decks where your entire deck revolves around playing this particular card, but it doesn't have like a high enough impact to be a good deck. AKA decks
Yep.
with Volcanic Drake.
Yep.
Like you said, good, that's actually a really good comparison. So, yeah.
It's kind of like Kieran Tormage or something like that. Like comparatively, like
For what you get out of the mana, like tempo
Oh,
wise, or
no, it's kind of just like you have to kind of build your deck around it.
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and it's just not that great
You
of
just
a.
can't play 3 secrets
thing.
with Kieran Tor and hope to
Those
get
gimmick
yeah.
decks don't win consistently. That's the problem.
Because you end up drawing the bad cards.
Yep.
Yeah. Crowd favourite, vanilla, 4 mana, to 4/4. Whenever you play a card with Battlecry, gain +1/+1. I think this is terrible.
I would
It's
say
just
this
terrible,
is,
but like, there's quite a few good battle cries building up now, and it's not hard to make a full battle cry deck, but like, has to synergize around this other. Like, it depends on what other cards they release with this sort of stuff, but like, it's definitely not awful. I think well, it's awful now, but like, it could be good later.
I think even in the context of good 5 drops like as a Drake or whatever new they release, I still don't think this card's going to be good enough.
I guess you
What
could say
deck would
it's
you play this in?
not a crowd favorite.
Oh.
Oh, way.
Alright, we got to go to the next card.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Druid of the Saber. Yeah, look. I don't know, what do you think of this card?
So you can either have charge or
Charge for 2/1, which you never do.
So you either get Bluegill Warrior or you get Bloodfin Raptor
With stealth.
Yeah.
and Stealth.
When's Stealth ever
Oh,
good for the
yeah,
Druid
Stealth.
class? And when would you ever play this over the 2-drop that can ramp your mana up?
Never.
When would you
Never.
ever play this over Wild Growth on turn 2?
It's good if you don't have wild
Yep.
growth. Then again, not really, because it's kind of shit.
Oh yeah, Bluegill Warrior XD.
Yeah.
Man, you can put them in
Next card.
7-draw range,
Well,
dude.
look, we might be able to give this card a fair assessment if the other 2-drop wasn't released, but yeah, this card's rubbish. This card's terrible.
Yeah, not great.
Oh dear. Alright, Bash. 3 damage,
I
3
think this
armor,
card-
3 mana.
This card is, I think this card is really good, and I think this card also like fills a void for Warrior, which is like another form of removal, but it's not overkill removal, and this requires no setup either. And this could possibly replace 1 or even 2 shield blocks in the deck.
You think this would replace Shield Block?
Whoa!
Hey there, Buster.
Calm
I-
your thumb.
I understand shield block cycles, but cycles are not always as relevant as deal 3 damage. Plus, this is 3 damage burst as well to the face.
Yeah, look, it's 3 mana though for 3 damage.
Look,
And the 3
3
armor,
drop
that's
spot in Warrior is like pretty bleak right now.
What,
Because
yeah,
sometimes dropping Acolyte on turn 3 isn't that great. But
exactly.
the card's okay. It's definitely not bad. Not sure if he'll see play. Definitely not in Patron, maybe in Control Warrior.
You control. You would never play this in Patron. It's just a purely control warrior card. If the meta gets like super aggressive, you would want to play this over like something like even shield block doesn't affect the board, and that's sort of annoying. You're sort of just passing the turn and gaining 5 health, whereas
Yeah.
this is like affecting the board state, which is
Yep,
much
that's the big plus this has, like, actually contest, like, killing a card, which is good against aggro, but I
Yeah,
think against
and then
control,
gain the
the card is not great. But I mean,
yeah. But in control, like in a control mirror match, you should be fine anyway because you're playing both playing control decks. But like,
Yeah.
this is just purely anti-aggro.
I guess this goes back to your first kind of conclusion that we had earlier in the video, that we don't know the merit of dealing 3 damage in like one single swoop.
Yep.
So we don't know how effective this card will be. Standalone right now, it looks pretty average, but yeah, the value of like 3 removal could be amazing.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
so, you know, it's just another
Solid.
card that's like context based. Yeah, it's pretty solid and it's fair ads. It's very fair.
Yep.
Brave Hunter. If your hand is empty, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero.
So it's another Leponome that has a terrible condition.
Yeah, so
Probably.
Abusive and Leponome shit on this card.
Yep. And even Worgen is still the Worgen Infiltrator is better.
So obviously the community, for whatever reason, hates Face Hunter, right?
Yep.
So, and they've pushed out Quick Shot, and they want to push out another card that encourages just like shitting your entire hand away by turn 6 to try and do just damage to the face. Like what like why? Like I don't
I guess
understand.
Blizzard wants. I think Face Hunter, as stupid and like as mindless as it is, it has a place in the game that you have to respect the existence of Face Hunter and not make your deck super greedy. Otherwise, we just have like
Yeah, that's true.
Paladin, a paladin control warrior
Like
mirror matches
double
that go
lay
for
on
40
hands and
minutes.
stuff like that. That's true. It actually does have a really positive effect on the meta that you put it like that.
Like,
but, yeah, that's true.
as cancerous as all these decks are, their existence is necessary because of the fact they have to keep the control decks in check. Otherwise, we'd all be having Hearthstone games of like 2 hours, just freaking
And that's how you lose the fun
miracles.
aspect, right?
exactly.
This is just like a role player's card.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like the
Right.
movie Brave, I guess you can play it. But
So Jackson, you play it for sure, right?
yeah, dude, Brave's my favorite movie.
Is
X to
actually
the
a
D.
movie.
You can buy that new hero
Never
skin
seen it,
as well,
but-
dude. You can just be hitting him with arrows all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
sick,
yeah.
man.
Oh wow.
Feminism power.
Yes.
Gormok the Impaler. If you have at least 4 other minions, deal full damage.
Oh. This card is so bad. It's not the worst card, but like it's never
one
gonna get
of-
dropped. It's never gonna get dropped on curve, which is the problem.
Yeah.
This is like right up there with
Mukla.
that fucking Kragstad. The
Yeah.
guy like
Yeah, Captain Krag. Yeah, this card is
Yeah.
iridocyclitis.
Except at
It's
least
a-
with Kragstad you get to like play like a bunch of friendly pirates, and with this one you
Like,
just
you can
don't,
be a role
so-
player. You can't even be a role player with this
Exactly,
card.
this one's just an
His name's
universal page.
Gormok. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Forgot
yeah.
I guess you just did. Oh, it's a legendary.
Oh yeah, someone's gonna pull this and just have a bad day.
Oh,
Dusties.
Is this the new King Mukla or is this worse?
Yeah.
I'd say it's
than
worse. King Mukla's good in fucking aggro paladin. This
Yeah.
is just like
Good in
Wow.
nothing.
This card's good for disenchantment. Oh, goodness gracious me. Alright, Ancestral Knowledge. Draw 2 cards, 2 mana, overload 2 Shaman. This is interesting. Kick it away. So
Good.
give me your thoughts.
Good card.
Why?
Good card. I think Shaman was lacking instant draw power. Like Mana Tide is good, but it's incremental advantage, and it's not like Arcane Intellect. I need these cards and I need them now.
Sorry, Rockman.
What?
I don't know, it's
Uh,
awkward.
I feel like
think
this
it's
card's
good.
fantastic mid to late game. I wouldn't
Yeah,
actually want to see
yeah.
it in my opening hand.
That's the thing, yeah, you can't really play this on turn 2, right? Well, you can, but it's like,
No, you
Just-
don't want to.
yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah.
So it's only good,
But
Yeah,
late
mid to
game,
late
like
game.
imagine you got 10 mana and you're in a pretty like even situation, and 2 cards will just bolster you out.
Yeah,
of the water.
exactly.
For 2 mana,
But,
the overload's irrelevant at this point.
You just
I don't know,
plus
is,
one.
is Shaman a deck where... Because there's some decks, obviously, where you... It's like, the early game is kind of where you win or lose. Like, it's make or break. Is Shaman that kind of deck? I haven't played it much, so I don't know, but like...
Shaman's definitely the kind of deck. The minute you lose board control, there's not much you can do to recover, short of like lightning storms rolling for ridiculous height. Like,
Yeah.
Board
So in
control is
those-
everything.
Exactly. In those kind of decks, I think it's like... You wouldn't want to play this card so much, but I understand it can be really good, like, it can be really clutch, but... it can just sit in your hand like totally
Maybe
dead
it's a
for a
while.
while.
Could you quite
You don't wanna
literally,
throw it over.
yeah, could you quite literally take the card as a one-off? I was going to say that as well.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
You know, yeah, the chances of you opening it are like substantially decreased. And if this comes up late game, I mean, because you're going to have this new Shaman deck, right? You're going to have cards like the new 3/4. You're going to have all these powerful minions, and then you're going to have the inherent Shaman weakness running out of steam, not having inherent card draw like Warlock's Hero Power or something, or the way Warrior draws off Acolytes. So, you know, this card could be a solution to those problems. But yeah, by the same token, like losing your turn 3 playing this card is probably not ideal. You could be compensated if you were to play this on curve on turn 2. Cards like Rockbiter. I honestly think the deck might see Lightning Bolt in play again, just for all these like awkward turn 2 overload cards. Then at least you have something to do with your 1 mana next turn. But then, you know, if you play Lightning Bolt, you have the same overload problem. So this is a complicated card.
I guess double zombie chow might become standard along with
Well, with all these
A double
powerful
rock.
2/3 drops that are like 4/3 and stuff like that, you're gonna have to start doing something about it, right?
yeah.
Like, yeah, I think.
Oh
I
yeah,
think the
lightning
card's
bolt
good.
will might come into play because of like the 4/3s and stuff like that.
Exactly that too. So, and again, we might be seeing this trend where doing 3 damage in like a kind of convenient, like cheap way is game breaking. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is really interesting how this it keeps occurring. Is this 3 damage going to be what is really winning
And
your games?
talking about Wrathguard before, Wrathguard's three health might shape the meta into 3 damage becoming really good. So
Exactly.
cards like that 3 damage warrior card, lightning bolt, and like all those cards might become really good
Might
because of
become extremely
Wrathguard.
relevant. Yeah, they might like mulligan aggressively for Wrathguard and not have much else. You lightning bolt that off after they've coined it. Like that could be all she wrote.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, we'll see. Bolster, give your taunt minions +2/+2. This card's terrible.
Yeah, I think it's awful.
XD.
Yeah, Belch is a 5/7.
Yep.
He's on his
10,
way to a
7, 5,
comeback.
7.
Yeah.
That's the old.
Look, yeah, I think it was Yubapinda speculating early in the video that the Warrior Legendary yet to be leaked might be a good taunt minion,
Yeah.
but that's all
That's
one of the
because
best.
like all the warrior cards really so far have like some taunt aspect. To
Yeah,
them.
that would make sense, right? But
Yeah.
I mean,
Who knows what they're gonna do?
who knows? Maybe they just think taunts are cool.
You don't
That's
play
very
this card
possible.
because you have a good taunt card in your deck, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you're basing your deck around taunts, which just sounds awful unless you're playing taunt
Again,
druid.
accommodating. It's like it's the volcanic drake effect. Accommodating your entire deck around a mediocre card with like very limited application doesn't work out too well, does it?
You know what?
And-
You know what? Place this card has
Yeah.
in last week's Tavern Brawl with the unstable port.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Sorry, this week's Tavern Brawl. Sorry, this week's Tavern Brawl with the deaths because you can play that little Exorcist card.
All
It
right.
goes to like 6/8, and then you play Bolster, it goes to like 8/10.
Yep.
It's pretty
So
busted.
you can win a free pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't make up for the fact that you
I
bought
mean,
packs
it's
and pulled
worth
this
the
card.
40 dust, right? Is it not?
I'd rather not.
Well, yeah.
Burgle, 3 mana rogue card. Add 2 random class cards to your opponent's hand. So this is
Hamburg.
Nefarian. Yeah, this
It's a
card
Hamburg.
art's
This
pretty
card's
good.
art is fucking sick.
Yeah, it is
Sure.
actually pretty
Yeah.
good. TV.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's nice. So it's Nefarian minus the 8/8 body and the extra 5 mana. What do you think?
This is a
no
is this a
place
rogue
in-
card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's absolutely fine.
It's fine, but it has no place in like any
Yeah,
of the
but,
rogue.
yeah, exactly.
competitive
Like,
rogue
what rogue deck do you put this in? Like, where does this bear synergy with a deck ever?
I guess.
Never.
But, like, what are you doing on turn 3, right?
Exactly. What do you do with turn 3 on rogue? Not much.
You SI7 or like
or like poison. Yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah. you do have to do things on turn 3. You can't burgle.
Look, in the limited time I played Nefarian, honestly, the stuff I got off Nefarian was really good. But
Yeah.
it should be RNG based, but you know, and that's got to do with having an 8/8 on the board too.
But
so,
with Nefarian, it's also good because the next turn you can just usually play both spells on this. If you play this on turn 3 or whatever,
your next
on
turn, turn
4,
4. Yeah, that's a really good point. Alright,
Yep.
I'm
so-
just biased towards this card. 'Cause I think it's really
art.
fucking.
Yeah, the
you
ham
can-
burglar.
you can
I wish
get
it was a
some gold.
legendary and it had some. He had some line that was like Harrison's line. Some fucking like absolute meme that he just said.
Yeah, this belongs in like Hamburglar's basket or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be sick. But
We're going to move on to Injug, like Valdir, who looks like he's got leprosy. Battlecry, deal 3. So it's a 1 mana 2/1. Cool.
Priest card with Circle of Healing, but I guess Zombie Chow just does his job better without
Look,
being
I mean-
shitty.
opening this and then turn 2 healing it isn't the worst thing, right?
Opening-
Zombie Chow's obviously just like 10 times better.
What if
but-
someone, like one of like half the classes coin the hero power?
Yeah, well, I guess you just scoop. Or if they mortar coil it.
Yeah.
I think if
do.
you play this turn 1, it's really appropriate to like maybe uninstall the game turn 2.
Yeah,
Mhm.
probably.
I could
And
be
if you
very
Circle
wrong.
of Healing, this like turn 1, that's just pretty awful. Waste. It's a waste of a Circle of Healing, I think.
Yeah, we'll move on. That's just not good.
That's why you call the Stone Cold Steve Austin's.
Tusker Jouster. Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, restores 7 health to your hero. Stats are good. Cost
See you,
is
mate.
interesting. What do you think about this reveal from your deck? Rubbish.
So this Joust mechanic, the reveal a minion in each deck, I think, like people have been making the argument that it's really good against aggressive decks because you'll always have the higher costing minion because they're playing all low cost minion, but low costing minion decks will be killing you already by the time you're doing your jousting mechanic. So
It's just not
Yeah,
doing
there's
enough,
no-
is it?
yep,
I mean, if
Yeah.
you really wanted to play a 5-drop 5/5 in Paladin, you'd almost want to play like the card that discounts your dragons. Almost, like honestly.
yep.
It's just not worth it, right?
No. The effect's really good, but it's so.
Couldn't you just go back to the junk
blind.
heap if you really wanted to?
This card is
that
like
much?
absolute fucking garbage because not only is it RNG, it's only RNG that's good against like 2 out of like 13 possible decks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And even that good, its effect is only good against like 2 out of 13 possible decks. So it's just like,
The turtle on the picture's cute.
yeah, I mean, cool.
It's like, yeah, I'm
Wait.
gonna get played in some decks, but
Healbot
I mean, its
is
face
definitely
is just-
one of those. Yeah, Healbot's definitely one of those cards where it's just like when you're against like Control Warrior or like I don't know, like another slow deck, it just sits in your hand
it's
all game and does
awful.
nothing.
Yeah, it's such limited application.
I mean, the turtle's face is like, he looks like he's full of excitement, so I feel bad for him, but, you know.
Yeah, a
Back
lot
to-
of disenchantment to go. See you, bud.
Yeah.
Now we got the Master Jouster. It's again this jousting mechanic. If yours costs more, gain Taunt and Divine Shield.
That's pretty
This
good.
card's
That's
okay because its effect is much, much better. And it's actually, like, good against, like,
and the stats are really good on it
The
as well.
stats for 6 mana, I think, is like honestly close to busted.
Yep.
pretty solid, yeah.
What you could play
If-
this
if-
in? Like maybe
If
Paladin?
you are gonna make like a reveal jousting deck or whatever, you definitely put this card in it.
That's for sure. But how do you make? I guess as we're going to see, there are 1-drops with the joust mechanic. So do you see the inherent like paradoxes of the deck where
Yeah,
you want to reveal higher
that's-
minions, but you have jousting minions in your deck that are low cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The question is, can you ever play this in handlock? And I think the answer is, like, no.
no, the answer's a straight no.
Yeah.
But
so,
I think this could feel like a 6-drop void in like decks like Paladin and Priest, maybe. Not so much
But
Druid.
also, you have to look at it. It's also just a Sunwalker with 1/1 plus 1/1.
Yeah, and you find the stats on Sunwalker aren't that relevant. It's the Divine Shield, which is why this card could be good though.
Yep.
But if you miss that Joust... Look, the only saving grace of missing the Joust is that its stats are mighty good.
Yep.
But, you know, you could just play
But
Sunwalker.
like, if you really want the Taunt and Divine Shield up desperately,
Just play
just
Sunwalker.
Sunwalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I guess if you're playing like a role-playing Joust deck, then this could see play, but otherwise,
Yep.
yeah. Gadgets and Jouster. So, Battlecry reveal them in your deck. If yours costs more, game +1/+1, so it would be a zombie chow essentially. You have that inherent paradox in a jousting deck where if you're going to play this kind of card, what happens if you reveal it?
Yep. It just
Yeah.
even in a jousting deck, I don't think I would play this. People they don't understand how good Zombie Chow is. Like Zombie Chow's +5 heal on your opponent is so irrelevant. Like
Most of the time, yeah.
in the early game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, I think this card's pretty awful.
it's good. Jousting cards are, like, pretty good in Arena, but
Sure.
Yeah,
very
where decks are
constructed, just
Yeah, they can't be played.
negatory.
Yeah, I think at this point, with the cards pool we have, this card's pretty unplayable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mukla's Champion. I didn't know there was a Mukla.
Fuck
I think
yes.
this card is good.
What?
Good in Paladin. Any good with hounds? Think about it. Like
Okay, we've just reviewed a bunch of cards that do 3 damage for next to no cost, right? So
yeah,
how
but
is
like
this ever sticking?
Yeah. this isn't sticking, but you need to get like a massive value out of it. And I don't
think you
think.
can
Oh,
do that
it's
for
like
5
it's
mana.
like a cheaper Stormwind that's permanent. But like, is that relevant enough to be played?
I don't-
Probably not.
I think
Probably
it's just
not,
a bit
then.
too weak. If it had like Yeti stats, sure.
If it was
Yeah.
4/5, then we could be
It-
rolling.
Then-
But
yeah.
4/3.
But then again, you're not playing Quartermaster for his stats either. You're playing him for his effect.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
he's
but
not a
this-
7-drop,
But he's not a 7-drop exactly.
and he gives your guys +2/+2, right? And he like combos with muster and all this stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like the big thing about like, and then them having to clear your fucking guys on turn 4. Otherwise, you just coin quartermaster and just like win the game.
Yeah.
But with this, you kind of just sit there and like, you're like, well,
look at
I
the
have
card
coin.
and you wonder why you actually didn't dust it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes guy.
Does it being a beast have any merit whatsoever? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Maybe in like Hound's deck.
But that'd be like 10
Like
mana.
a
You
hunter-
play this guy hounds plus your hero power. It's like,
Well, you don't need the hero power. It's an 8-mana combo.
but you need what? You need to like use the hero power to give you guys +1/+1.
Yeah,
Inspire.
look,
Oh,
if-
it's an Inspire. I thought it was a battle cry.
No, it's an
Wow.
inspired.
It's Inspire.
That's so
If
awful.
it was a battle cry, I could like get behind it maybe, but like, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible actually.
Alright, I'm glad you read the card. Alright, the Skeleton Knight, Death Rattle, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, compulse it. I'll turn it to the hand. This is awful, right?
Skip Salty Dog.
Yeah, do you want another? Yeah, I don't know.
It's got good art.
Oh,
Cool to look at.
The Salty
Wanna
Knight.
kill
The Salty Knight. They should have called it the Salty Knight.
It's fucking salty skeleton.
Yeah, look, when do you ever
Yeah,
want to
Salty
play it?
Skulls.
Yeah, a 7/4 2 turns in a row. Yeah, look. Dude, this card ties to the 2-mana Warlock card. Just think about that for a second, yeah? Before you think about after Legendary 2, we're in for a bad time this set.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Edric the Pure. Alright, so 7 mana, change all enemy minions, attack to 1. So Eldor on roids. What do you think? I thought this card was good initially, but take it away. I know you don't think so.
The card's effect is good, but its stats are not impactful enough for it to 7-drop. That's all. And like Eldor is usually a play that you do in response to like one single minion. Like the dream is Handlock goes like Molten, Sun Fury, and something else, and then you go Edric, and then you reduce all their guys, and that's the dream. But like in reality, it's more going to be like they're going to play turn 7 boom, and you play like Edric, and he did like Eldor's job for 7 mana.
Okay, so a lot of the time it's just not getting enough value to warrant spending 7 mana on a 3/7 ever, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
it's an interesting legendary.
Yep, definitely.
By the looks of the set, like I think Blizzard just fucking hates aggro decks. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so many anti like cards that just like shit on aggro, but are so bad against every control deck. It's just another one of them.
Yeah, and in this
Yep.
meta where you're balancing your deck to counter aggro, but at the same time not lose these control matchups, this doesn't really have a place, right?
Exactly. Like it's so bad against every single other deck that's not like Hunter / aggro Paladin
Slash
/
like Tempo
maybe
Mage
Zoo,
or something.
maybe Zoo. I don't know. Tempo Mage maybe. Like
Yeah.
there's just such a little range of decks compared like to where it's good against compared to like the huge range of decks to where it's just crap against.
So for
Yeah.
7 mana, this card just has to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 5 mana, you're okay.
Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, gain +1 durability.
Ah, cool.
2 mana. A 2 mana 2/3 weapon is not good enough, I
It's a
think.
Glavezuka.
The 2 attack is such a huge like. Just not
Turn
good.
off.
If it was a War Axe, do you think it would be good?
Yes,
three attack?
it'd be.
Yes.
Actually, it would probably be busted if it was a War Axe, though.
Yeah, it'd actually be really,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Just like there's so many cards you need to have 3 health. You need to kill like Shredder, SI, Farseer,
Wrathguard.
the new
Wrathguard.
Wrathguard.
Matter Worm. Like 3
Yeah, that's
for a
true.
weapon. It's just crazy. So I think 2's just
And they got lazy with the artwork too, hence the bad card. So,
yeah.
all right, Armored Warhorse, Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, gain charge. When are you ever playing this in a deck where you have higher costing minions in your deck?
Exactly. Your deck. Card should be played in an aggressive deck, and then you won't win the joust. So what's the point of playing this card?
It's another card with like 4 mana but 3 health, and we're seeing this like 3 health thing continuously come up on how easy it is to deal 3 damage. So, or at least how the meta will shape to be wanting to deal 3 damage. So yeah, this card's terrible, right?
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. Anubrak. 9 mana, Death Rattle. Return to this hand and summon a Nerubian egg spawn.
So, I was talking to Donald about this card, and he's like, this card is like garbage against everything, but Rogue can finally beat Control Warrior, because Control Warrior, outside of like Sylvanas and Silence,
Will
can't
not
kill this
deal
card.
with this.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 9
But,
mana.
like, it is,
Oh,
yeah, 9 mana is so huge for Rogue. I don't think it's good enough to be played though. And
Actually-
4 health is just a joke.
I actually kind of like this card. Because essentially it's a 12/8, kind of, in a weird way, right? And it's, like, I don't know, it just keeps returning to your hand. Like,
Yeah, but like,
silence is
then you're
huge.
thinking about it,
Look.
dude. Like, if you play for 9 mana, and it dies instantly to like a Wrathguard.
Are you going to invest? Yeah, are you going to invest another 9 mana with something that can't attack again? You got your 4/4 Nerubian. Like,
Maybe.
It became a 9 mana like egg. It became a 9 mana Nerubian egg. That's not
Alright,
good enough.
so let me just paint this kind of picture, right? We know how important it is for Oil Rogue to keep a monster on board, right? So if you
Yep.
play this piece of shit, and it's like an 8/4, we're assuming they're not going to use a weapon on it because 8 damage is too much. So they're going to kill
Yep.
it, right? And you get the 4/4
Yep.
Nerubian. Like, they have to have
They're
a way
gonna
to clear
BGH
that
it.
as well.
They're gonna BGH.
Yeah,
it.
you can BGH this.
Fine.
Fine. That's obviously
Worst case
Bad.
scenario.
worst case. Yeah. I don't know. It's just interesting. I think it could be played for sure.
Thinking about it more, yeah, I think it could have application, but I don't know when Rogue can invest 9 mana and not risk dying by investing it again for the value you get. Like, it's a valuable card. Like, Trump would be licking his chops, but I mean, 9 mana. When's your health total going to be taking a hit for playing something so valuable?
It's very true.
Yeah, and
Do you
look,
reckon this card would be better if his stats were switched around? If he was a 4/8?
no, not for
Yes.
9 mana.
Make him worse.
Yes, I think it would be better.
For 9 mana.
But I mean, like, it's harder to kill, and there's like Tinkers that can make it an 8/8.
Yeah, but you're investing
7/8,
9
sorry.
mana to drop a card with 4 attack. They're going to flat sticks ignore the thing.
Yeah, but that's hard. Sometimes you can't do that, right, against Rogue.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
you can't,
you want to
but-
clear it because of oil, and then if you clear it, just 4/4 pops out.
Look, I think people are going to experiment with this card, and they're going to have varied degrees of success. Maybe on
Yeah.
like extreme opposite ends.
It's definitely a card that's not like, it's not objectively terrible. It can be, I think it like requires some testing to
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to
Yeah.
play a different kind of deck for this card to be super effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I guess against in the Control Warrior context, if you don't silence that thing or steal it, you're actually done for.
Yeah, you lose.
It's like a bad
You
dream.
can't kill it.
Yeah. But anyway,
Uberak.
Aviana, 9 mana druid card, 5/5. Hold up, your minions cost 1. What?
This is my favorite card in this set so far. I think.
This card's
I just can't wait to
ridiculous.
like. There's some games where like people will drop like Thorison on you, and you're like, oh, if I don't kill that, I might lose. If you don't kill this,
You
if it lives to see the
do
next turn, you lose.
Yeah, you
will lose the
100% lose, especially in Druid. When all your
Yeah.
cards are like, all your like 4+ mana cards are so effective as standalone cards.
Exactly.
Like, this actually
then
exemplifies it, yeah.
Here's
Not
a
even
thought.
to mention like. Wait,
yeah.
let me. So you're Aviana, turn 10, and then drop KT. So you have 2 minions, both that you need to remove instantly. But not a lot of decks outside of like Control Warrior can do that to like 2
13
huge
mana of
creatures.
cards. Like, I mean 13
Yep.
defense, yeah.
Yeah. Just a bit of an interesting
I thought.
thing. What if you Thorsan this to 8 mana?
Oh my
Whoa.
goodness. Like, and then you
Whoa.
play this on turn 8, and you just
Yep,
like
and then
Ancient
you
of
just
Law and like
shit.
KT or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not even think of
Well,
that. I did not
also,
think that would happen.
Blizzard did confirm that like if you Thorison and then play this card, your minions will cost 0.
Fuck off! No way!
That's confirmed.
No
Is 100%
way!
confirmed.
So you can just drop it. You can like Thorsan this and like 2 other big minions. Drop this on turn
Yeah.
8 and just drop them like shit the board. That's
This card's insane. I'm playing.
Holy shit.
I'm playing Druid with the new 2-drop, the new 4-drop, and I'm just gonna be loving life.
Yep.
Oh,
This is pretty solid.
Aviana Grande.
Yep.
Aviana, one last time. Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely.
I did not
One of the
think
best
that would
cards.
happen. Alright, so this card is the best card we've reviewed, I think.
So far, yep.
Probably. It's pretty hype.
Grand Crusader, Battlecry, a random Paladin card.
So
Less
you go
than
from the
cool.
best card to go to this guy, and
This
6
card
mana.
actually,
is
this
so-
card objectively isn't that bad either, but we just looked at the most busted card in
Look,
the set. So
Out of all the classes, Paladin, like, there's some classes that just have
that's-
like complete shit cards, right? Like absolutely
like
unplayable cards.
Warlock, like Sack Pack.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff,
But Paladin, like, if you think about it, doesn't have the worst kind of like card pool.
Thinking Lay on Hands, Tyrion, Alador, Master.
Yeah. Even the low drops like Argent Protector, fucking Shielded Minibot, Blessing of Kings is okay. Like Hammer of Wrath. There's so many cards you can get that are like decent,
Yeah.
but I don't think it
Yeah,
like
you're actually right. Like Paladin's cards objectively are all like very solid, all-round cards, and like only like sometimes you get like a quartermaster or something, you'd be like, oh fuck this guy. But like most of the time you get like solid, decent cards, whereas like other classes you wouldn't. So maybe this card could be played in Paladin, but like you gotta look at this mana slot and the stats. Like 6 mana,
Yeah, I
5/5.
mean,
Do you
what
really want to play
six
this?
slot is
You're
this replacing
obviously
in
not-
any deck?
You're obviously not playing it in any class but Paladin, right? I mean, you can't. Like, that's just... I think that'd be, like, insanity.
Why not? Like, what cards from the Paladin besides Quartermaster are detrimental to have in another class?
I mean, I don't know. There's just cards that, like Muster and, like...
Muster and Quartermaster, sure. 2 out of, like, X.
I guess. I don't know. I just feel like this card just fits in Paladin.
I would be happy to get Muster off this. Muster is such a good value card. You get 3 minions and you get a 1/4 weapon, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously it's much better in Paladin when you
Yeah,
have...
but when you're at that point and you're investing 6 mana, you want something higher impact, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You want Tyrion off this.
Look, this could be played. Look, this again could be another good arena card, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be some funny games.
But in
Arena.
Constructed, it doesn't,
in
doesn't
Arena,
quite
it's
cut
like
it.
fucked. I think this is like busted. But
But like even Grand Crusader in turn 6, say you chucked it in your war or something and getting like, I don't know, or Druid or anything and getting like a True Silver or something, that's kind of busted.
Yeah, it's
that would be
weapon-
insane. Getting True
We
Silver.
forgot about weapons actually. Weapons are
Yeah.
pretty good.
Fuck. What about the 2/3 weapon that gives it Taunt and Divine Shield?
Coghammer. Yeah, that's
Fuck.
good too. Imagine giving this
Yeah.
thing D shield the next turn.
That'd be quite nice.
Look, it might not be the worst thing in the world, but again, it's RNG dependent. So
Yeah.
6 mana investment could literally blow up in your face.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cards like this have inherent limitations for like super obvious reasons. So I guess we can leave that at that. Clockwork Knight, no, we've already reviewed that. We've already reviewed Bookless Champion. Confused.
So that was confused. This is probably the worst card in the set, right? Like
We have contenders, but yeah, this is up there. The card art's actually decent too.
yeah, it looks pretty funny.
But
They're
yes,
smoking good stuff in that one.
yeah, they actually are. They're on Sammy K's Straubs, but swap the attack and health of all minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say besides it's shit.
If you Death Lord and then like you can like go for game randomly.
What's a K?
With an attack. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Sick.
Fist of Drax. When you play on this
Oh, Jesus. They weren't thinking when they named this card.
Fist my ass.
When you play on this card. Wait, the card's shit, right?
It sounds so
Yep.
bad.
The only way this card is good if you like Soulfire and just randomly pitch it.
Even then.
It's still pretty
random.
It
Why
takes
is it
over.
damage random? Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
Or you can
This
play
card does
you
not
can play
tick
this
over,
and
in
Doomguard
fact.
and not care about your discard.
Oh
No,
my
the
god.
card's terrible.
Actually, that's actually kind of cool. But nah, yeah, it's pretty shit.
XD.
X to the.
What about this versus Argus versus like any card in the game?
Yeah, look.
You could just drop 2 of that 2-drop in Warlock, man, for like, 8/6 combined. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Charge
Pretty shit.
Hammer. Your hero power becomes deal 2 damage. What?
So it's a shaman card.
Oh.
So you shaman face hunter, maybe shaman hunter, shaman face shaman. Sorry, that's what we were looking for.
Yeah, but you have to invest 4 mana to this and tank them a lot on the price of the weapon. Even then, you're wasting
Yeah, I
20
don't-
mana doing that. I don't think it's good.
Yeah, it's not very good. I don't think. Unfortunately, again, the 2 attack is just so
They should-
relevant. Like,
Yeah, it's so bad. This card could be so good if it was switched around. If it was a 4
4/2.
four
Oh,
ma-
yeah. It would be ridiculous. Oh, not ridiculous, but it would be good enough, right?
Yeah, it would definitely be played then.
Yeah, I guess, it's just, especially when they've just made like such a totem-centric theme with cards that bear such good synergy and are just better than this card.
Yeah,
So, I guess they had to give some shit cards along with the busted stuff we've seen.
yeah. Well, but also this is gonna have some funny games with Blingtron. When someone gets this off Blingtron.
That's in fact true. We got Alex Straz as champion.
Oh,
If you're holding
I
a
think
dragon game +1 attack and charge.
this card is ridiculous. I think this is gonna single-handedly make Dragon Warrior like a top tier. It's already like pretty high up there, but like it'll probably become the standard over Control Warrior even. That's how good this card is.
You reckon? And you just play what you use Sarah and Alex's and stuff, or?
Yeah, and Nefarian. Like the Dragon Warrior list isn't like that different from normal Control Warrior. It's like 3 or 4 cards different at most. But like this early game presence, like sometimes this could be played over Armor Smith. That's how good this card is.
I think I agree. Yeah. Armor Smith always seems like an obscurity besides against aggro decks, right? Like the card feels terrible in control matchups.
Oh, but it's still 3 attack, 3 charge. You can just.
No, I'm
keep
talking
putting on
about
pressure.
Armor Smith. So
Oh yeah,
this
definitely.
this could fill the void that Armor Smith is. Like this can stand up to the aggro decks quite easily, right?
Yeah, and it does. It also puts pressure on in the control matchups. Like hitting for 1 and hitting for 3 is totally different.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I think this card's fantastic. Look, I think it's a little on the unfair side of things, but I'm really excited to see it's a warrior card.
Yep.
This card's sick.
Which
Dragon
Again,
Warrior.
And again, this card's going to put so much pressure on your opponent. This can deal 9 damage in like a couple turns if left unmanaged. And again, it's 3 health, so again, the importance of dealing 3 damage. Are we just seeing this theme where 3 damage is like super important to win the early game now? Or
Yep.
I mean,
Definitely. So, and that's another reason why I remember King's Defender, the extra War Axe.
Yeah.
It could actually be played because it's 3 damage.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I guess these are all cards that improve with context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Alex Strada's champion. That's probably what the second to third best card we reviewed, at least in the top 5 easily.
Yeah, it's definitely good. And I also like what they're doing with the Grand Tournament set, how it's not just like all Grand Tournament cards. They got like Dragon cards, got some mech cards in there.
Yeah, they didn't decide to just make it like a linear. Ah, we're introducing mechs. Yeah, I have a lot of mechs.
Yeah.
Here's an
Yep.
explosive sheep. Haha, wow.
Yeah, this card's good. He's in fact died. Anyway, Warhorse Trainer. Your Silverhand recruits have +1 attack. Is this card
Dope,
good?
man.
Is this good?
Coin master this.
I can't
Is it-
tell if
yeah,
this
just-
card's good.
It's like a Leok for only. It's actually exactly Leok for Silverhand Recruits because it's 3 mana, 2/4.
Yep.
Mm,
So that's the only situation where this is good, but you coin master and play this.
But
turn
we
3.
have a lot of good new 2-drops, and you already have Shielded Minibots, so does this even have a place?
Exactly. Probably not.
Hmm.
But like, wasn't Paladin asking for an aggressive 3-drop? Like, it's 3-drops right now, are either Muster or
Eldor.
Eldor, and the Eldor isn't really a 3-drop. So this isn't too bad. Like when you look at it, when you take it into context of 3-drops.
I definitely think someone's going to try break this, and I can't tell you if it's going to be good or not.
It definitely needs to be.
I mean,
Good with-
look, obviously its best case scenario is Coin Master this, and you pretty much win the game. This could definitely have a place in a Bulletin. You know how they typically don't play Quartermaster? This is basically a cheap Quartermaster that doubles the 1/1s that you're already struggling to deal with.
Yeah.
I think this could be good in like aggro Paladin, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know about mid-range strategies. Flash Heal. Restore 5 health for 1 mana in Priest. That's actually... Wouldn't you just play Light of the Naru?
Yeah, I think the 2 extra heal is not worth missing out on Light Warden when Light Warden can just snowball games.
Yeah. And with Priest, it's not that extra 2 health or so that usually is the difference between winning or losing, right? Like,
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's more the board control, which
Exactly, the abundance of things on the board. Like, you're dead by 10 or so health. It's not the 2 health extra that's going to make the difference, so... I think this card's bad.
plus Circle of Healing build. Wait, that this is trying to anyway.
We'll move this along. Living Roots, 1 mana, deal 2 damage or summon 2 wisps.
This or Zombie Chow, I know which one I'd play.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Druid's not going to waste deck slots on this card when you got like Javiana Grande and stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Is there many cards left?
We're pretty much done. So,
Cool.
we'll,
Yeah, this card's
no, that is in fact the last card. So,
oh, sweet.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's bad. It doesn't have a place in Druid when you got to play so many good standalone cards.
Probably not.
Alright, we'll wrap things up then. So, did you boys have any concluding thoughts on what we've seen in general, at least in tonight's session?
Arbiana was good, Alex Strauss's champion was good,
And not much else.
Yeah.
The Druid cards were impressive though,
yes.
in a really like fun and exciting way because they're not busted, but they're just
Yeah.
strange. And obviously, if you've listened to the video, we've got this. We're seeing that doing 3 damage could actually be like extremely valuable. So yeah, we'll wrap things up. So a friendly reminder to visit nexience.com.au. Check out our social media links: Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot in the description below. Like, subscribe to the video, whatever. Show us some love if you like the stuff. And yeah, peace out.